The Zarlek warriors, their armor gleaming under the cold light of their warship, listened to the commanding voice echo through the briefing room. Tundrex, a frozen death world, its surface torn apart by relentless ice storms and temperatures that could kill in seconds, was now their battlefield. The mission was clear: retrieve the ancient artifact buried in the ice and return alive. Tundrex had swallowed up many who tried before them, but the Zarlek were no ordinary soldiers. They thrived in harsh conditions, believing no other species could match their endurance, especially not the frail humans. Their commander paced before them, his voice filled with cold confidence. He reminded the squad how their kind had long surpassed other species in survival. Humans, he mentioned with disdain, had no place here. They would be bones by now, if they'd ever been foolish enough to land on this world. The Zarlek had no doubts about their superiority. This mission was just another testament to their unmatched strength. Their dropship pierced the thick atmosphere of Tundrex, descending through a swirl of icy clouds. The moment they touched down, the biting cold assaulted them. Even with their advanced gear, the warriors felt the weight of the planet's hostile environment. An endless white expanse stretched before them, glaciers looming in the distance, the air thick with frost. Despite the brutal conditions, they moved with confidence, their technology making survival second nature. Establishing their base was quick and efficient. They set up thermal shields, drilled into the ice to create a secure perimeter, and initiated their scans for the artifact. Their breaths fogged in the cold air, but their mission kept them focused. Survival here wasn't just possible, it was a challenge they were eager to conquer. There was no doubt among them, they would endure what no other species could. As the squad ventured into the frozen wasteland, their footsteps crunched on the snow, barely audible over the howling wind. Their thermal sensors scanned the ice, mapping their path forward. The ice storms grew fiercer, yet the Zarlek moved without hesitation, their suits protecting them from the worst of the elements. This was what they trained for, their skills honed to survive in worlds where death lingered in every gust of wind. But as they pressed on, something unexpected happened. Scans began picking up traces of heat signatures, faint but unmistakable. Small shelters carved into the ice, crude but functional. Human tracks, though partly covered by snow, led away from the shelters and deeper into the glaciers. The squad exchanged glances, incredulous. How could humans have survived here? The tracks led them further into the frozen wilderness, past jagged ice formations and across treacherous crevasses. The warriors' disdain for the humans resurfaced, each step a reminder of their confidence that no human could withstand such harshness. If any humans were here, they surely wouldn't last long. Nature would have taken care of them by now, or perhaps the planet's wildlife had made them a meal. Just as they prepared to dismiss the tracks as remnants of failed human attempts, their comms crackled. A signal, distant but consistent, was detected. It wasn't coming from their dropship or any known Zarlek equipment. Something or someone was out there. The Zarlek warriors moved swiftly through the ice canyon, their equipment whirring as it strained against the relentless ice storms. Despite their superior technology, navigating this treacherous landscape was proving harder than expected. Gale-force winds tore at their suits, and visibility was reduced to near zero. Each step was a battle, the ice beneath them unstable and cracking in ominous tones. Their suits compensated as best they could, but every movement drained energy reserves faster than anticipated. Their focus shifted back to the mysterious signal, pulsing faintly on their scanners. It was their only guide now, cutting through the chaos of the storm. Suddenly, they encountered signs of local wildlife, massive predatory creatures, camouflaged in the snow, prowling the canyon edges. Even the Zarlek, experienced in combat, felt a twinge of unease. These beasts were perfectly adapted to this deadly environment, and their presence only heightened the danger. Yet they pressed on, driven by the need to unravel the mystery behind the signal. When they finally stumbled upon the human outpost, they were stunned. Nestled within the glacier's side, it was a sturdy, well-constructed base, sheltered entirely from the elements. The outer structure was a marvel of simplicity, thick ice walls reinforced with metal, channels cut into the glacier to divert melting water for use, and solar panels that fed off the scarce sunlight. The humans had not just survived, they had created a sanctuary in this frozen hell. This was no temporary camp. The Zarlek realized that these humans had been here for far longer than they had anticipated, and they seemed well prepared for the planet's unforgiving wrath. From a distance, the Zarlek observed the humans, expecting to witness them huddled in desperation, on the verge of collapse. But what they saw defied every expectation. The humans were not merely enduring the cold, they were thriving. Moving with purpose, they managed their outpost with practiced efficiency. Small drones buzzed around, performing repairs and gathering data on the shifting ice. Their shelters, though simple in design, were equipped with self-regulating heating systems, drawing energy from the planet itself, ensuring a constant supply of warmth without reliance on external fuel sources. The humans worked as a well-coordinated unit, each action contributing to the greater good of the group. They had developed their own techniques to harness the harsh conditions, turning the planet's challenges into solutions. Wind turbines spun furiously in the distance, converting the violent storms into energy. Portable greenhouses housed fresh food, their insulation preventing freezing temperatures from stunting growth. The human survival here wasn't luck, it was a triumph of innovation and teamwork. One of the Zarlek warriors, skeptical of the humans' achievements, decided to get a closer look. But just as he stepped forward, an ice storm, fiercer than any before, descended upon them. Blinded and buffeted by the winds, he struggled to maintain his footing. His suit's systems began to fail, overloading from the sudden drop in temperature. In moments, he was incapacitated, the storm's fury pinning him down. Before he lost consciousness, he felt a sudden warmth, hands grabbing him, pulling him to safety. It wasn't his fellow warriors, it was the humans. They moved quickly and with precision, carrying him to their outpost. When the storm finally abated, the warrior found himself inside one of their shelters, thawing out by a portable heater. He was alive because of them. As the alien warrior recovered, he took in his surroundings, astonished by what he saw. The humans had more than just warmth. Their heating systems were small but powerful, running on a combination of solar and geothermal energy. Every resource was used efficiently, no wasted movement, no unnecessary consumption. They rationed food, water, and power with a level of discipline that impressed even a soldier like him. This was not a species barely clinging to life. They had mastered the environment, bending it to their will. The human commander approached him, offering water. The commander explained that they had been on Tundrex for several months. They had arrived under orders similar to the Zarlek, seeking valuable resources buried deep beneath the ice. The human's survival was not due to brute force or advanced technology, but through cooperation, engineering, and a deep understanding of the planet's ecosystem. They had studied the patterns of the storms, learned the rhythms of the planet, and adapted accordingly. Where the Zarlek relied on their tech, the humans relied on each other. As the Zarlek warrior listened, he couldn't help but admire their approach. This was not the weakness he had been taught to expect. These humans had outclassed them in survival, not through physical dominance, but through their ability to adapt and overcome, even in the most extreme conditions. What he had witnessed here challenged everything he thought he knew about the galaxy's fragile species. The humans weren't just surviving in the frozen hell, they were thriving in ways the Zarlek had never anticipated. The humans wasted no time explaining that their mission was identical to the Zarlek's. They had been sent to Tundrex in search of the same ancient artifact buried deep beneath the ice. Though the humans had already mapped part of the glacier, their limited equipment was slowing them down. The Zarlek, with their advanced technology and combat expertise, could easily access areas that had been unreachable for the humans. A proposal was made, a temporary alliance. The humans would guide them through the planet's dangers, using their intimate knowledge of the terrain, while the Zarlek would provide the firepower and tech to secure the artifact. The Zarlek commander hesitated. He had been raised to view humans as weak, inferior beings. Yet, the evidence before him told a different story. These humans had survived, thrived even, where many others would have perished. Their techniques were crude compared to Zarlek technology, but undeniably effective. Reluctantly, he agreed. They had a common goal, and there was value in the humans' skills. This frozen wasteland had already proven itself deadlier than expected, and they could use every advantage to complete the mission. The joint team set out across the frozen landscape, the humans leading the way. Almost immediately, the dangers of tundrex became apparent. The ice beneath their feet was unstable, threatening to crack open at any moment. Lethal winds whipped around them, bringing snow so dense it blinded even their advanced optics. But while the Zarlek warriors faltered in these conditions, the humans pressed on with practiced ease. They used ropes and grappling hooks to secure the group, guiding them over collapsing ice bridges and avoiding pitfalls that even the Zarlek scanners had missed. Every challenge tundrex threw at them, the humans had a solution. At one point, a vicious storm hit without warning, bringing down a massive avalanche. The Zarlek suits struggled to maintain power as their systems froze. In contrast, the humans reacted quickly, erecting makeshift snow barriers to divert the incoming ice, saving the team from certain death. Later, when a pack of predatory ice creatures ambushed them, it was the humans' quick thinking that turned the tide. The Zarlek fought valiantly, but the creatures' thick hides and natural camouflage made them difficult to defeat. The humans, however, knew exactly where to strike, using traps and decoys to outmaneuver the beasts. Each incident chipped away at the Zarlek's initial arrogance. These humans, though physically weaker and technologically inferior, displayed a mastery of the environment that no amount of alien tech could replicate. They didn't overpower nature, they adapted to it. Their solutions were simple, born from necessity, but they worked. Time and time again, the humans saved the Zarlek from disaster, using quick problem-solving and collaboration to navigate the harsh terrain. As they neared the site of the ancient ruin where the artifact was believed to be hidden, the weather took a turn for the worse. A massive ice storm, larger and more powerful than any before, loomed on the horizon. The Zarlek's sensors predicted it would hit in less than an hour, threatening to bury the entire site under tons of snow and ice. If they didn't retrieve the artifact quickly, they would lose it forever. The humans, unfazed by the impending storm, immediately began formulating a plan. They suggested using the natural terrain to their advantage, constructing an ice shield from nearby glacier fragments to create a temporary shelter. The Zarlek, more accustomed to relying on force fields and energy shields, were skeptical. But time was running out, and they had no other options. Working together, the team built the ice shield and prepared for the extraction. The humans timed the operation perfectly, waiting for a lull in the storm before using a combination of explosives and manual labor to excavate the artifact. The Zarlek provided cover, using their technology to detect incoming threats, but it was the humans' strategy that ultimately ensured the artifact's recovery. As the storm intensified, the team retreated to the safety of the ice shield, watching in awe as the winds tore across the glacier. The Zarlek, humbled by the experience, realized they had not only learned to respect the humans, they had come to rely on them. The humans had shown that survival wasn't just about strength or advanced technology, but about adaptability, ingenuity, and the ability to work together in the face of overwhelming odds. The artifact was secured, its ancient glow pulsating as the combined human-alien team prepared for extraction. Just as they were about to move out, the ground beneath them trembled. In the distance, the ominous rumble of an avalanche echoed through the frozen landscape. A massive wall of ice and snow barreled toward them at terrifying speed. Panic briefly gripped the group as the Zarlek attempted to activate their advanced shielding technology to hold back the onslaught. However, to their horror, the harsh environment of tundrex proved too much for even their most reliable tech. The shields flickered and then failed, leaving them vulnerable. The humans, however, didn't hesitate. Springing into action, they quickly assessed the situation. While the Zarlek were scrambling to reboot their systems, the humans were already formulating a plan. With calm precision, they identified a narrow ice tunnel that could offer shelter from the avalanche's path. The humans led the charge, guiding the Zarlek into the tunnel just moments before the avalanche hit. The sound was deafening as the wave of snow crashed over them, but the tunnel held strong, providing them just enough cover to avoid being buried alive. Once the chaos subsided, the Zarlek emerged, shaken but alive. They gazed in awe at the humans, finally understanding what had kept them alive on this deadly planet. It wasn't strength or technology, it was adaptability, quick thinking, and an unwavering focus under pressure. For the first time, the Zarlek realized that without the humans' ingenuity, they wouldn't have survived this final trial, let alone completed their mission. Back at the human outpost, the mood was quiet as the two groups prepared to part ways. The Zarlek, once confident in their superiority, now looked at the humans with newfound respect. The Zarlek commander, once the most dismissive of the group, approached the human commander. There was no longer any trace of arrogance in his posture, only a quiet acknowledgement of the reality they had experienced. "I underestimated your people," the Zarlek commander said, his voice measured but sincere. "Without your skills, we would not have made it out of there. You have my respect." The human commander, ever humble, offered a simple smile. "Surviving Deathworlds is what we do best. Glad we could help." There was no grand speech, no overt displays of superiority from either side. Just a mutual understanding that they had faced the same challenges and had only survived because of each other. With the mission complete, the Zarlek prepared to leave Tundrex, their dropship ready to take them back to the stars. As the Zarlek ship lifted off, the commander sat in silent reflection, watching as the ice-covered landscape of Tundrex disappeared below. Everything he had believed about humans had been shattered on this mission. Their species had trained for harsh conditions, equipped with the most advanced technology the galaxy had to offer, but it hadn't been enough. The humans, with their seemingly crude methods and reliance on one another, had outlasted them at every turn. In the quiet of the ship, the commander began drafting his report to the Zarlek High Command. His message was clear: humans were not the weak, fragile species they had once believed. They were something more, survivors of the galaxy's harshest worlds, capable of thriving where others would perish. He recommended that their species' stance on humans be reevaluated. They were not to be underestimated, but respected, perhaps even seen as equals in the harshest environments the galaxy had to offer. As the transmission was sent, the commander allowed himself a moment of reflection. For all their advanced technology and warrior pride, it was the humans' ability to adapt, to cooperate under the most extreme circumstances, that had allowed them to succeed. In the end, it wasn't about who was stronger or smarter. It was about who could survive, and the humans had proven that, in the frozen hell of Tundrex, they were unmatched.